What's up, work people? Wait, work people? Is it the work morning for some of you? Good morning. Is it the evening? Good afternoon. I don't know. People all around the world, all different times listening to this. We appreciate so much, and I mean that sincerely. Thank you for listening. Episode 238. I'm here with Ben and Josh, and this show and every show of 2025, TitanDiscGolf.com. Ben, how many discs do you think are left for that Easter egg hunt?
1.
0.
That's
Guess what? They found them all.
Wow.
But never fear.
That's awesome.
There are 7 more back up there right now. Your best chance is if you're a live listener.
Wow.
Go check it out. That being said, they've lasted throughout the week from here before. So if you're listening to this Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, still worth checking it out. And if you need a reminder, you're looking for a product that has the Staggered Stance logo as the product, like placeholder, right? It's not the actual product, but you're looking for that. And if you purchase it, leave your email in there. They will send you they'll provide you with a gift card of equal or greater value so you can get whatever you want on top of it. So it's a buy one, get one, more or less. And they're random discs. They have over 35,000 discs. So we've scrolled for a while, but people are finding them. Competitive pricing, free shipping, $75 or more. And they've got a unique selection. And I think you should go there every single time you need to purchase a disc online. They have local stores as well, but they're trying to build this side of it. We're trying to help everybody go buy it. TitanDiscGolf.com. And Josh and I are sandwiching Ben with our TitanDiscGolf.com hats. Perfect. We've got more to come on that.
Yes.
Ben, where are you located tonight?
I'm in Washington in another Walmart parking lot. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, right outside, like 3 minutes from the Cascade Challenge course.
We're going to talk about that for sure. Like, get your on the ground opinion on that. Josh, where are you located?
Yeah.
Witness protection program. At least that's what I thought Ben is. The way it's like kind of like blurry with the bright light. I'm like, is that really Ben Kenny? I saw him all weekend on the coverage, but no, I'm in the great state of New Hampshire, literally coast to coast. Which is, it's just fine up here. Beautiful.
You remember a few weeks ago, it was probably 3 or 4 weeks episodes now, I had asked, does anybody know how to grow grass? Well,
yes.
Since that time in Massachusetts, it is spring, but we've got like 6 inches of rain in the past couple weeks, like 2 weeks. Yeah. So I set up all these sprinklers, like 500 feet of hoses and sprinklers. And I think I've turned them on once in 3 weeks. So not a waste because I'm going to need them probably through the summer at some point, but a lot of rain. And guess what's coming this week? Cold. They call it a nor'easter up here, and cold and rain. I think another 2 to 3 inches of rain is coming midweek. So
much rain.
So much rain.
Yeah. There's so much rain here in Washington. I could not live here.
I think it's more common there for us right now.
Yeah, of course it is more common, obviously. But
we've been fighting drought conditions in the Northeast, but
true.
We're recovering from that now.
I'm looking it up right now. Per year, 38 inches, I guess, per year for Washington. And if I go into Massachusetts in the last year, we've had 23 so far. So like we're 15 inches off. But like
that's a lot of rain.
It's a lot of rain. So anyways,
remember I ran through it for 9 hours 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Ran in the rivers. But it looked like, Ben, maybe it was cool. You can tell us that, but I thought the weather in general looked good for the tournament.
First day, it was rainy and not good weather. Second day was really windy, but didn't really matter in the woods. And then third day was same exact conditions. It was sunny and windy. But yeah, it was the first day that really was the rain day. That kind of was unfortunate. But the rest were surprisingly pretty good.
Hey, and we usually have a normal kind of flow, but I just want to ask, like, is that, maybe I just missed it, and so this could be an ignorant question. Is that why Ezra Aderhold was wearing gloves? The cold?
Yeah, it was cold.
Right.
It was like highs of 60s, but
windy.
Like when in the shadows and in the wind, it was. I made sure to wear sweatpants the third day.
Did Gannon have hand warmers?
Chilly. Yes, that's
Yeah.
when you know it's cold.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know
getting that
if you. No,
hammered.
I don't. I wouldn't say that's when you know it's cold because he's like, I think he's a 40s guy. I need hand warmers, which most people would say is cold.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give
If you're
him that.
throwing it.
Yeah. So it is cold.
Yeah, so we'll definitely talk about the event. We've got segments to talk about. We're a third of the way through the season, a third, if you want to break it down that way. And so we'll look at like what's going on, what's coming up. Pop, drop, lock, just to throw it out there and tease it. People are still playing for a round with Simon. Things are getting serious. Josh, I found out who is the leader, the actual person who is the leader, not the nickname. So if you look up the nickname, I think it's like Narwhal, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Trusty Narwhal or whatever.
So I get an email, says, hey, the scores don't seem to be correct. And they sent it to my personal email. And I read
like they
their
know you.
email. And they said, you probably have better things to be doing than tracking score for me. But Josh, remember the round we got to play at Maple Hill last year with Michael from California?
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, California, the tire shop guy.
Dude is taking it down and taking it serious.
That's him?
That's him.
Oh, I love it. Wait, and then is he going to fly up and play with Simon?
Well, you can't count your, what do they say? You can't count your chickens before they hatch.
No,
I mean, we're a third of the way through the year, but.
Plus your son's trying to wipe him out.
And I think Hunter's in second. I know, by like 8 points. It's crazy. So
17.
I'm teasing it out. You get that round with Simon if you win, or at least the opportunity to. It's going to be probably a November thing. Like that's kind of what we agreed with Simon. We might be able to flex, but that's probably what it'll be before Thanksgiving, following the conclusion of the tour. It's going to be tight. If you want to play for it, there's still a lot of people in it to win it. I'm thinking 100 points back, but that's nothing a couple solid weeks can't get me back into. So
yes,
we're not reviewing this week yet, but that's where we're at with Pop, Drop, Lock. We'll talk about that more later. But here, guys, this is pretty crazy. For the first time ever, as I understand it, the PDGA is going to propose a rule change or rules changes. And instead of just posting it on their website and letting people know about it, they've reached out and said, hey, can we use your channel of media to help get these rules that are proposed to be changed out to the masses? And can we talk about them? Because we want people to understand what these proposals are and what it might actually look like on the disc golf course instead of just leaving it up to interpretation when it is announced. So, next episode, this is episode 238. Next episode, which is going to be recorded early and posted on Memorial Day. So that's May 26th.
Right.
On May 26th, you will hear it here first. It will not be posted to PDGA before it comes through us. So if you want to hear these new rules, come to Stagger Stance, May 26th. Listen in. We're going to talk and really push back, listen to, debate, think about, say hurrah, whatever it might be. We do have a review period. We do have them in our possession. Do not hit us up for them. We will not give them out. You got to tune in May 26th. So that's cool.
Yeah,
what do you guys think about that?
Well, one thing you said is they asked, can we talk about them? And the answer is like, yes, we can.
Yeah.
Fun. That's an interesting way to put it out. But what have we been saying? And it's actually, in my opinion, has nothing to do with our show. I would love for the PDGA to be more engaged. I'm speaking very loosely here because this isn't true across the board, but more engaged in the community, more media, more proactive. Right when Doug took over a couple of years ago, is one of the things we said, like, let's really see that. And they can try a bunch of different things, and they're a big organization with their hands in lots of directions. But this is one interesting way for it to really engage. Because what do we know about disc golfers? The ones who probably care about what's coming down in the rules are the ones who are also consuming the media. So it's going to be a great way to kind of get that out there and engage with it. Plus, it'll be fun for us to share our opinions and ask our questions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And to help elaborate just a little more, obviously, I'm happy with our podcast. I'm promoting our podcast. There are a few others that will also have this opportunity. They may be podcasts you listen to. They may offer a different perspective than we will have. So stay tuned out there. I'm not stealing anybody else's thunder. I will let them talk about it if they would like to. But I'm telling you for sure, May 26th, you guys will be able to hear it here, possibly first. So check in. I've had a chance to review them, and I'll say I think You guys will be interested. I'll just leave it at that.
They're good rules.
Are they good, Ben? Let's debate
Wow,
it
we
now
gotta- I was
without
gonna say.
debating it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, there was some of them that I really were like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, no,
No.
I'm just kidding.
you guys can speculate on what they are. I speculated myself before I got them in hand as well. It's fun to do. So go ahead and speculate. But that is coming next week, May 26th. We will be talking or joined by, as far as I know, it will happen this way, Robert Leonard. So we've had him on a few other times. Great guy to talk to about this. Yeah. And I'm not sure. And I think other podcasts might have other interviews. So it's going to be a great thing from the PDGA. I think this is a fantastic way to do it. Obviously, hey, look, our latest subscriber, Robert Leonard on screen.
That's awesome.
On cue.
Thanks, Robert. Perfect. So cool. So that's coming up, guys. And that's pretty cool. Josh, what else? Want to break down the event a little bit?
Yeah, let's just talk about the
event, because we're going to still do a season like 1/3 of the way look ahead, but like just the event itself. Let's look at that.
Yeah, exactly. Literally just recapping where we're at. So Ben, I'm going to have you weigh in a bit, but I'm just going to say some of the obvious here. So in MPO, starting there, what a final round duel between Simon and AB. And what's interesting is we probably won't talk a ton about Paul Macbeth here, but he fell off and then shot the hot round, which didn't last for long because a few holes later, Simon and AB finished with their stamp of a hot round. And talk about both throwing a hot round. Obviously, I'm jumping to the punchline, AB coming out on top. But this is what I'm going to ask you in a minute. What a technical course, a challenge. AB posted saying that back nine is just like, I think the word I'm using is like a gauntlet, just incredibly tough. And really kind of fun to see that. Just jumping quick to FPO, Missy Gannon, back to back. Like it would be completely wrong to say she flies below the radar, because that is not even close to true. But what I'm getting at is that maybe a slower start to the beginning of the season. And so you don't necessarily think like, oh, she's having like the big year, and then coming out and reminding that, yeah, not really, right? Holland Hanley scorched the first half, and maybe Missy scorching. Well, Matt, you dividing it into thirds. Maybe Missy will scorch, this third or whatever it is. But really fun to see. We've seen this course a little bit before, but the first time as an Elite Series event. But Ben, like, I mean, anything you want to say as far as like the course itself or the way the competition went down? Obviously, I saw you on coverage. No surprise, caddying for Gannon. And Gannon had a pretty good event as well. I mean, he didn't get the win, but.
Yeah, so the course itself, super technical. I mean, you saw by the scores. I think Gannon second or first round was like shot 4 down. He might have been like 3 down through the first couple of holes, and then it finished 4. So that it just describes how hard the course really is. And he thought he was out of it. Like, he was surprised to be on chase card after shooting 4 down, because that's like the typical pro tour where we live in today. You got to shoot 10-11. That's like the basic. That's the score you can expect. But no, I think the final round, people started to figure out the course a little better. So it's funny how that always works. Like, the final round is always like the hot round when these guys are only shooting like 3 or 4 like the previous 2 days. And day 2 was same exact conditions. Like, it was same exact. Super technical. Front 9 was a really cool course. Well done. I think like the backup holes, like 11, 12, people didn't, or I'm just speaking from the pros. I like, obviously I don't know anything about if it was good or not, but they thought like that those holes were a little annoying, meaning like there probably should have been some more trees removed, I guess is what they were saying. But all in all, it was overall positive. The biggest concern was there was just some trees in the middle of the fairways that should not be there. But I guess the reason they're there is because they're protected, funny enough. So I guess you have to get permission to cut down the big red oaks. So that's why. Is it red oaks? I don't even know. The big oaks. But so that's why
oak trees?
Some of
they're
them
oaks, not like redwood, like pines.
I was told oaks. So I guess you have to get permission to cut down the oaks. So that makes a little more sense because it's the evergreen state. There's literally evergreens everywhere. I can't imagine there's that many many oaks. But all in all, I think it was a really solid event, and I wouldn't be surprised if they keep coming back here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Champions Cup lands here. Whoa.
Oh, that's interesting. West Coast again, but wooded, which has always
But
been the
wooded,
debate.
like, well, yeah.
Maybe we come back to that if you were planting a seed, but just
we
really
were at
quick,
Northwoods with it, so then we went
Yeah.
open, and so
I
back
wasn't
to
planting a
woods.
seed. I don't know anything. It was just more so like, it makes sense to me.
Well, if there's a team around it, then they can put in a bid. That's what Doug's telling us, right? Everybody go for it. AB AB and Simon both had a 9 down. Okay. Ricky and Paul had 8 downs. So great rounds. Kyle Klein, Gannonburr had 7 down, and so on. So like you said, strong finish. But listen to this. AB had 12 birdies in the last round. Simon only had 9 birdies. So like it's an interesting way that it went down, because then there was a 3-stroke swing on hole 9. Yet they both ended up with a 9 down. Just kind of an interesting way that tournament went down. So things really cinched up there. But I think AB is probably thrilled, hole 11 through hole 18 to get six more birdies and kind of seal the deal. Yeah, it was fun to watch. I like watching wooded golf on the network. Sometimes it's hard when you don't know the course. I don't know if you had that feeling, Matt. Like there were times, and it's like I almost want to be like picky on like the coverage, but I don't know. It's probably seriously challenging. But like it was hard to follow.
Yeah, well, so I had that feeling a few times. I had that feeling a few times, and then I remembered myself hearing Nick say that, I don't remember which course it was now, Swinson maybe, or what was a new course? Kansas City, that's right. Bad Rock Creek, Kansas City. Nick was like, I don't know where they're throwing. I don't know the course, so it kind of comes off as boring a little bit.
Yeah,
I think that's true, Josh, to your point. When you don't know for sure, you're kind of like, is that good? Is it bad? What I will say that this event had, at least in the last round, was the excitement of being so tight that you didn't really need to know necessarily if it was good or bad, because you could see where that card was landing. You know what I mean?
It was almost like match play on the card.
Yeah, more
right?
Match play. Exactly.
Right. So you'd be like, that clearly looked better or not. But then again, some of this is inherent to our sport. So like, this isn't quite a complaint, even though I'm kind of complaining about it. It's like they would throw off the tee and it would hit a tree and it would just launch into oblivion. And so like even the camera coverage is like,
you just zoom in.
I have no idea what happened. There's just a bunch of like bushes and like whatever. So again, part of that's inherent to our sport, or either that or you need $1 million.
I got to ask Ben a question. Ben,
what's up?
You were there on the, wait, hold on. Gannon was lead. No, AB was lead card. You were Chase.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
So you didn't go back and watch coverage, I'm guessing, but AB in the final round, I don't remember which hole it is. He does one of those like kind of shank shots out into a grass near the road. Did you see that? Did Gannon ever practice that? Like, I don't know.
I think it was hole 11. I think, because I just know that because there's chatter. Once we were on hole 12, massive backup. So we saw the disc come in and park, and I guess they were like, AB just broke the hole. He went over the road or something like that.
So if that's the hole,
I think it was 11.
It's kind of like I call it a shank shot. He more or less like annies it out almost 90 degrees right off the tee pad, almost. Maybe it's not 90, but it's in that zone. And then it goes out and he somehow gets out into the grass near the road. And it's like wide open grass, Ben. Like it's just like literally the road and wide open grass. And he just hyzers it up the length of grass and to the basket. And he's like 20, 30 feet from the basket. So
yeah.
Just things like that.
Yeah, I think that's the whole.
Yeah. So things like that you can see and be like, okay, I have no idea. Obviously, most people wouldn't. That's just an example. But like, it was hard to tell. I think you mentioned, Ben, every round, everyone got a little better. I think every round people watched, it got a little bit better because you started realizing where discs should go. It's new to the tour. And so it's just going to take a little bit because, Ben, like, I don't think Gannon had played that event or course before.
2 years ago, I think was the majority when it was the Silver Series. I think that's
2 years ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah, most people played it.
Okay. So maybe most did, but I also want to point this out, Josh.
Yeah.
This was the lowest attended event so far of the year. As far as touring players. I don't mean quantity of players, but touring.
I thought you meant spectators. Like, I was like,
no,
how do you have that data?
No, touring players. So like FPO was short by like 15 on their regular. MPO was short by maybe similar amounts. Players found other events, and I'm curious as to the why. I'm not sure.
Well, I can tell you one
Okay.
why.
Okay.
Las Vegas Challenge.
Yes, that's
You
one.
can, yeah.
Yeah, there are a few
Well, the
scattered
Innova
things.
players.
Plus European players also leaving.
No, but for Las Vegas Challenge, the Innova players I think had to play Las Vegas Challenge. Like,
Oh, right. Yeah,
Calvin
no,
was-
right.
was
But there
up
was
there.
only that was a handful. Which, but I'm agreeing with you. By
Yeah.
the way, I'm just saying yes. I
and
don't know.
then I
Matt.
don't know the rest.
Did you have any other perspective? It seemed to be it was a trickling of people for several events and obligations.
Yeah, and it was interesting because you see other random touring players say like, "Hey, I placed at this event." Like I saw like a handful of that in social media, like I don't know, 5, but different touring players who like either I won, and you're like, "Wow, they got a win." Oh, it's not on the tour. Oh, they got. Oh, it's not on the tour. Like, or they're placing well, or they're struggling. So I'm just saying, interesting as to the why.
I have no idea, but I guess if you're looking at your tour and you're looking to find a place for a break that's not an actual break on the schedule,
Yeah.
you're probably picking apart events that don't have a lot of history yet.
Okay. Well,
I
we
mean,
got
that. I don't know.
we got Paige Pierce in the green room. Paige, can you hear us? Yeah, maybe. So I can't hear Paige. Paige, if you want, because I can't hear you, and I think it's not my side, just literally close out of this window and come back in. We'll give that a try. I can see also that there's a little bit of network lag there, so we're going to see if we're able to get her in here. But she's been performing really well over the last 2 events specifically, where I think it's definitely something we want to hear from Paige on what's going on.
I was going to say, I'm like tempted to like tee up exactly what I want to ask her, but an obvious hint is like, wow, she always performs well out in this region this time of year.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Missy Gannon, by the way, threw a 10 down final round.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so just make sure
Course record,
before we cruise
which
over
is
that.
insane.
And obviously we'll talk with Paige, who tied for second, who was leading the tournament. But yeah, Missy just scorched it. I mean, no bogeys, right? Like, I don't know. That's hard on that course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked Paul Crayons, who still is right there with the pop-off player of the Pro Tour year. He's right there. There's I want to say Ty Love. I think
who had a great event,
or was it
this weekend?
Also Sully. Let me see.
Sullivan Tipton.
Yeah, Sullivan Tipton. I think might have been the other one. Let me just double check that. Sullivan Tipton. Yeah, maybe not. I'll have to look that up. But anyways, I asked Paul, like, hey, good course? Yeah, it was a good course. I was like, wooded like New England? He gave me a course, Ben. He's like, maybe tight like, and I feel like it's not close, but that was just my perspective on TV. He said 501. And I'm like, so like some of the fairways, like the wooded fairways.
Maybe
type.
blue. I can see 501 blues.
Okay.
Yeah, where it's like, where is the fairway? How do I get up? Like, how do I get to the basket?
Okay.
Well, that again, not specifically talking about coverage, but sometimes these like turnover forehands, like where players are like slicing it through the trees, and you just can't tell. You're like, did you mean to go on that side of the tree or this side of the tree? Were you cutting in or out? But whatever.
Let me see. Paige, can you hear us now? Okay, perfect. Yeah, we're good here. All right, I'm going to swap Ben out because Ben asked to be taken off screen for a minute, so we'll just do it that way. Although,
whoa,
actually, that should work.
I got to do my...
Boom. Oh, you're off now. We can't even hear you. Welcome to the show, Paige. I got to give some music so our audio listeners know what's going on, but you're already on screen. Welcome to the show, Paige. I think Josh just filled us in. Last time you were on was your last win with Portland Open. So we're getting around that time of the year, and you're back on. So how's it going?
Yeah, good. And it's funny that it is about that time of year too. So that's hopefully that's a sign, and I can keep it rolling into the next event.
Well, we want to ask about that sign a little bit. So we watch everybody's performances and we analyze and we look at things, and you guys are like, you have fun with that. I'm over here trying to, just build my own game and career. But we watch it and we're like, I've picked you a few times this year, Paige. We do a little fantasy game ourselves, and I go, Paige, this is the event. This is the event. And you've got me points. You're doing it. You're having like movement this season, right? But then you look at the last two events, and I even asked AI this, Paige. I don't know what you think about AI, but AI, I was like, hey, look at this list of players, look at the stats, tell me who I should pick coming into Portland Open again, and it goes Paige Pierce. Because it was just factoring everything. I said, look at the latest trend, look at her last two performances versus her average for the season. And it was going through all these details. So what's going on, Paige? Why is AI picking you? Why is it a good idea going forward? Has things changed?
Yeah, I don't know. AI is a whole different conversation. I don't know. I get scared with that stuff, watching Black Mirror and whatnot. But that would be cool if it's right this time. I'd be excited to win at Portland and defend. I feel like I haven't defended a title in a while. Like I've had a win here or there in the last few seasons, but like to defend and come back as a favorite, and yeah, I think that would just be a huge like confidence boost and just like momentum shift, like Ricky talks about too. So like, yeah, I would love it.
So has anything shifted that feels better for you the last two events? Because it is a significant adjustment as far as like, we'll say placement. That's one of the things I typically look at here. So you were going beginning of the season, 11th, 15th, 13th, 28, right? And then all of a sudden, third, second. And both of these, you were like seriously in contention to win. So it seems like visually like a big difference. To you, does it feel like a big difference?
On certain shots for sure, and just the consistency of the shots. I feel like I've been throwing really well all year. But I think I'll definitely say last season for sure. I felt like I was playing so scared and thinking, okay, this is what I don't want to happen. So let's just go to the right. And this year for sure, I've been more so just like not scared, just trying to, this is what I want to happen, not what I don't want to happen. But then also the last couple of weeks, just like really believing that I had a chance and like I belong. And yeah, so I think getting more and more reps in, like hitting gaps, because for a while there, like I was just starting to talk about last season, I was like clubbing down to a putter and just like picking apart the fairway and trying to play for par, where now I'm getting to a wooded tee and I'm not feeling scared. I'm like, ooh, cool. Now I can like rip my driver through the woods. And I hadn't felt that in a long time. I just been trying to play conservative golf and it was not getting me anywhere.
So there's a few things that are interesting there. Thanks for sharing. One is, was the fear originally stemming from, I'm assuming, you had your injury, you rehabbed it, you started playing, and is that fear from the fact you weren't really sure where discs were going? You didn't feel that same control? Is that where that fear came from?
I think that's a part of it for sure. Definitely a part of it. That's not the first one that came to mind, but when you say that, absolutely, yeah. But I think we talk about it on tour too, that like these rookie players that are coming onto the scene, they don't have like the scar tissue built up of like all the things that they've seen go wrong over the years on the courses. So like I get to a course and I've played in that tournament for a decade, and I've seen all the horror stories of where you can land and where you don't want to be. And I'm like, oh, remember when you landed over there and you took a snowman? Like, don't do that again. And so like all these things build up and you have all this like scar tissue that you're now like, yeah, that's what I would think about at least. Because like even when I was like winning a lot, I was birdieing a lot of holes, but then there would be that occasional like quadruple bogey and I would just really screw a hole up. And so I'm just like the fear of like, okay, just let's eliminate that. Birdies are going to come, but let's eliminate the big numbers. And then you start thinking too much about not getting those big numbers. You stop thinking about the birdies or the 7 birdies in a row run you could go on. You just think about what could go wrong. And that's just like not a good headspace to be in.
Interesting. So man, there's so much I feel like unpack on that. I'm curious, you talked about the scar tissue, and I think that's such a great visual, like, or a way for us to understand it. But you've been on tour so long. I feel like you would have had that scar tissue after 4 or 5 years of playing. Yeah. What do you think that kind of, like I said, maybe I don't want to like make something up for you, but maybe it started coming out of that unsureness, out of the rehab, or you think it was just a certain time in history? It was just, now I'm just going to start thinking those things.
Like I said, again, definitely the injury, definitely. Okay. But I think like even before that it started a little
Okay.
bit because like, you know, externally I would hear like, oh, like almost like I was like the FPO Simon, like trying this Simon line or this Paige line. And it's like, okay, I see your attempt and like good idea, but didn't work out. You got a quadruple bogey. And so, I mean, those were the shots that gave me so much joy, and like the risk was worth the reward for me, because like if I would have pulled that shot off, it would have been so exciting. And yeah, I just wanted to be like known as a better golfer and not like this cool thrower. And so I just was like, okay, let's start playing smart. Let's pick the hold apart. Let's like find our landing zone, and thinking of those kind of things. But then I realized, like, if you're playing for par and you mess up, you're going to take a bogey. But if you're playing for birdie, like you should, and you're getting forward progress. And so I thought about that a lot this week too, just being in those tight woods, like, okay, this might not land on the fairway, but let's just chop a sidearm up there like 400 feet, or not 400 feet, but like just far. I can't throw a sidearm 400 feet, but like one of them felt like it because it passed like so many trees. And it's like, wow, I don't even know where that landed, but I know my forward progress is way up there.
I don't know your familiarity with Overthrow Disc Golf YouTube channel and what they do. He just commented in our chat. Lots, got away from her strengths. Interesting thought. Do you feel like you kind of did for a little bit when that fear came? You started playing a different thing. It wasn't your strengths, and you're kind of finding your way back. Would you describe it that way?
Yeah, I think so. And I think like that's a physical thing too, right? And then it also seeps into the mental part of my strength, which like if I'm grabbing my putter and disking down while everyone on my card has a driver, it's kind of showing my reservation, and it's kind of showing my fear, right? And then that's like, wow, like why are you doing that? Like, are you scared of what could happen? And it turns into this whole like thing where it's like, I guess I didn't feel confident enough to hit the gap, so I guess I'll throw my putter. And then it just like, yeah, definitely got away from my strengths.
A lot of people that listen to us are not professional disc golfers, so I think they'll resonate, in not saying that you're not professional, but they'll resonate with the idea of having the fear, and I think they're going to take away the be confident in what you want to accomplish. And I know I speak for myself. I'm a 930 rated am, and it's probably what I'll always be because frankly, I don't practice a lot. And there's definitely times where I come up and I say like, oh, you're going to hit that tree like this, that. But I found if I can reshift and say, no, this is what you are going to do, right? Maybe go back to that more aggressive. This is what you're going to accomplish. It tends to work pretty well. So it seems to me like the last two events, things have clicked in that way. Do you feel like, I was going to say courses, but the last two courses are not really similar at all. Do you feel like, so it's not really course related either?
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's just all about the confidence and like feeling like I belong there, and not like I'm like this like imposter, like what am I doing on the lead card, you know, like remembering that, okay, maybe I haven't done it in a while, but I'm obviously capable, and like I haven't got worse. I'm just like, something's going on. Like I'm throwing farther, I'm throwing more angles. Yeah, just what else is it? And let's like figure it out and then move on.
Well, I can say, as a fan of the sport and a fan of Paige Pierce, that seeing you up there is more exciting. And it could come from a little bit of a nostalgic place for us, right? Because we're seeing you back there. It's like watching Paul McBeth be back there this year. Like, we're enjoying it. Do you feel like I don't want to use the word come back, but do you ever feel like you stepped away? Like, what is that feeling like for you through this journey of, let's say, not lead cards all the time?
What was the question? Like, what does it feel like?
Yeah. Do you feel like you've had a period of being away, if you will, from that disc golf limelight, and now do you feel like maybe I'm returning back? Not saying like every time you're going to be a lead card, but do you feel this like I'm finding my way back and I think I'm there?
Yeah, it's such a tricky thing, because like I don't feel like I ever went anywhere. I don't feel like Macbeth ever went anywhere. Maybe our results weren't as good as we wanted, or that you all expected of us, but we never give up. You know, there's players that are on tour already. Like I've seen players come and go, and Macbeth and I is one thing we share is, and a lot of our other peers from our like heyday time, like Ricky, you know, we're still out here, we're still grinding, and we're not letting these like failures get us down. Like, also, when you know what you're capable of and succeed in doing that, like that you start out, but about like both Paul and I.
Okay. Sorry if you're hearing me cut you off. I think there's a background noise that's cutting you off and is trying to do like a noise removal thing, which is fine. But I think it got too much towards the end that we couldn't hear you. But we've been hearing you fine, so don't worry about it. I think we'll be good. So you don't feel like you've ever left, and I appreciate that perspective. I will say, watching players go through, if you want to call it a struggle of whatever it is interesting as well. And I don't feel like your passion or there's your disc, right? Your passion or your drive was not there. We were just curious as fans. Are we going to see this again, right? And I think that's where it's exciting because you start to see it from a fan's perspective. So that's pretty cool. So you said you haven't tried to defend a title in a little while. Are you not going over, I'm assuming, not over to Kona Pitch Day and then back, right? You're going to stay in the U.S.?
No, no, definitely.
And so that will be your next event. Are you staying in Washington right now? Are you traveling north? What's your plans between now and then?
Actually, not sure yet. Still here, right near Shelton, doing laundry and playing some card games and getting the oil change and all of that, taking care of Monday things, grocery shopping, whatnot. And yeah, we're going to make a plan for dinner and then decide where we're headed tomorrow. But definitely Washington, Oregon. Yeah, gonna explore the Northwest and hit some national parks probably and do some hikes and yeah.
So I guess I wasn't following close enough, and maybe it's just an assumption, but you are traveling in a van. I thought for a while RV. Okay, I thought I remembered you selling the van. So okay, you got an RV.
Yeah, I have had two vans, still have a van, but yeah, my wife and my two pups and my cat are on the road with me, so we wanted to have a little bit more space and also AC for the dogs while I'm playing my practice rounds and my tournament rounds, like make sure that they're comfortable and safe in there. So it's been super nice. Having the whole family on the road and just like having that love and support at all times. Yeah, and in the RV and through Portland, and then we'll see about the summer and on, because I don't think my family's coming with me on the fall tour. So we'll see about going back to van life or staying in the RV.
I don't always ask about everybody's spouses on here, but a friend I am of Ayla, how's she doing?
She's doing great. She's actually at a music recording studio right now, recording some songs, and she's working on her first album. So it was really special. After round 2, we went in and I got to go with her and just like watch the whole process and how it works and everything. So she was just beaming with excitement. So it was really cool. And just it was a cool day because that was my first like time being in the lead in a long time. And then we leave straight from there and go to the studio and like help her fulfill her dreams too. So it's just like, yeah, it's just been a really, really nice week.
Good vibes all around. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, well, I actually want to ask. So Matt asked a lot about like mindset or performance and everything, but is there anything about the vibes of, let's say, call it the West Coast swing, or more specifically the Northwest swing, because you performed there really well last year. You talked about defending champ. You performed well at Champions Cup just now. Like, so is there anything about the mindset or vibe, or is it literally a coincidence from your perspective?
I don't think anything's really coincidence. I do think that there's a reason players play well at certain events, a little bit just because of where you are, but not too much. I mean, I don't know, tricky, because it obviously does matter about the course, and a player has strong suits that fit the course. But I think also just whoever is like in a good headspace is going to do well. You know, you have the types of players, and this doesn't in players every week, but like you go through these phases and these changes and these things that affect you, or you're in a good mood so nothing can go wrong, or you're in a bad mood so the littlest thing can set you off. And yeah, I think just whoever is like in a good headspace and positive, I think positivity is a big thing. And yeah, like when I hear a player complaining about the course or about uh you know the backups or whatever, and I hear the second I hear the tone of complaint, I know that that person is at a disadvantage, like immediately. And so I think there's a lot to be said about being appreciative of the people that are helping make this event even happen and making the tour happen, and realizing that there's other parts involved and it's not just like your story that week. Like there's hundreds of people there, not just competitors, but the person who took a week off work and maybe is jeopardizing their job just to spot and try to get a close up of Ricky make raptor legs. Like there's just it's a whole life out there. And I think a lot of times we tend to get a little too complainy and negative, and that really, really affects play. So I just trying to eliminate that and just stay as positive as I can on the course.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've experienced that in my own arena, in some of my own sports endeavors. Mindset is like, it's actually pretty incredibly powerful, as you just said. So speaking of a moment, so I just actually want to go back a couple weekends ago just to hear you tell the story. Maybe it's short, but of your eagle throw-in at Champions Cup. Was that a fun moment?
Yeah.
Obviously it was, but like, what was that like?
Yeah, I kind of touched on it in an Instagram post, but like those 5 holes for me, that being like the second of the 5 holes was like just like I experienced every single emotion that I could have in the whole tournament in 5 holes, or like a whole year even, like the hole before that it was the hole I was the most scared of going into the round, or the whole tournament. I was just so scared of that hole for some reason. It was a double mando, and it wasn't that hard of a hole, like 340 feet dead straight, just keep it in between the mandos. And I was so fearful of it. And I got the box and I hit the gap and I pured it. And I was like, yes, like, I don't even care where that landed. I hit the gap. That felt so good to have that relief. And then I get up there and realize like, oh, wow, I'm freaking birdie putt. I'm just outside the circle. Then airball again. I 4-putted, I believe. And just that, it's like a shame and humiliation and embarrassment and like so many feelings you feel of just like, oh my God, it's still my turn to putt. Oh my God, it's still my turn. Like I can't even take a couple minutes to like compose myself. I have to go putt again right now. And then I take a double bogey and I lose strokes to everyone on the card. And I'm starting to get down on myself because we have like 7 holes left. And then the very next hole, I throw it in, and like I hadn't counted myself out yet, but I was like on that train, like starting to like, damn, did you really just give it away? Damn. And then seeing that disc go in the basket was just like, oh my God, I can still win. Like, and that's what I was thinking as I was like running over there, was just like, the hope is still alive. Like I got a lot of work to do. I still got 5 holes that are hard, but like it's still a dream. Like I can still do it. And so like that was just like really cool. And then yeah, then the next few holes there was a lot too, but yeah, specifically about that throw in, that was a really cool moment because I was just starting to jump down that negative train, and it was just like, phew, no you don't, like hold on. So it was really, really exciting. Almost like saw it from a third person perspective.
Yeah, kind of watching it.
Is that really just going? Is that it? Yeah, that's cool.
It's definitely in. You made some comments earlier, just as you were chatting with Matt here, but about feeling like I belong, and I like, not that you need any of our approval, but just to be clear, like there's no question you belong. Paige, like the tour is great when you're there and you're competing, and being on lead card is exciting for all of us.
You're the GOAT.
Yeah, I think it's like not belonging isn't like, part of it is like, yeah, that I haven't been playing good or whatever. But another part of it is like when you get in a high pressure round and you're on the, maybe not even lead card, but you just have cameras around and everyone's like watching you. Like if I have a wedgie, they see me. If it's like, it's such a weird thing, but
Yeah.
you're being studied, you're being analyzed, like you guys said. And like,
Sorry.
it's like, it creates so many more nerves and jitters and like, whoa, just overwhelm is it. One word is just overwhelm.
Yeah.
And like the not belonging is like that's when that comes in the most, is like when I'm like, okay, you did what you needed to do to get here. Like, this is where you belong. The scores show it. This is where you belong. Now just settle in, because it doesn't matter if you take a 10 and a 10 and another 10. You have to finish the round on this card. Like you're not going anywhere. You're here for 18 holes. So like strap in, and this is where you belong right now. It's a lot that you have to like overcome mentally during the round. I don't think I'm alone in that either. I think like I could feel like, specifically I could feel Rebecca's nerves as well. And like she had a little bit of like vocal, like under her breath, but like to us a little like, and I could feel that we were having the same like emotions, and Missy did a really good job controlling that, whether it was internal or external or both. But yeah, she did a really good job of just like not showing any like hesitation or anything.
Yeah. And you said you have a different sense of like scar tissue, where you've probably, I mean, being under the proverbial microscope, in this case cameras, right? Like all the good that can happen, like an eagle throw in, and then all the scrutiny you can take if you're 4-putting on a hole, right? So you kind of just feel that.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like, yeah, you got to try to tune it out. But then like you know, if good things happen to me or bad things happen, I really just want to like, even just 10 seconds to just process it alone. Just 10 seconds, like just give me a couple breaths and take it in. And you don't get that. You do not get that on the lead card. That is for sure. There's 4 different cameras. Like you try to turn, there's a camera there. I try to turn around and then there's a camera right there too. So it's just, it's a weird thing. And it's really cool that, I know like a lot of my family gets to watch this, and like the communities that I've gotten so close to, and like just so many friends and family can watch it. And I'm so thankful for that. But at the same time, I just still just trip out on like how weird it is. And cool. It's disc golf is a whole thing. And when a new person finds out about disc golf and they realize there's DGN, there's podcasts, there's this, it's like, yep, it's the real deal.
Yeah, it is the real deal. It's a real part of your whole life. So a couple other questions that aren't just about on the course stuff that I'm just curious. We don't have to go deep on any of these, but like any lingering injury concerns, physical or mental, you feel like that's in the past? It's obviously a part of your story, but like, is it still like, is there anything lingering for you? You're all healed up?
Yeah, on my ankle specifically.
Yeah, specifically your ankle.
There's like 3 different movements that I found that still hurt me in disc golf, like in a round.
We lost Paige there. I'm assuming she will pop back in here soon, but let's go ahead and wait and see if she does pop back in.
Matt, I hear the audio just fine.
Well, it's not coming through. It's not broadcasting. I'll put it that way. So she's back now.
Okay.
So whatever you were saying about the pain in your ankle, there's certain movements. That's when the audience lost you.
Yeah. So I just have like a few different movements that I've realized cause pain, but it doesn't like linger. It'll be gone like 20-30 seconds later. So I just know that those exist now and know to expect them and just kind of like breathe through them. I also do tend to rush those shots a little bit more just because I'm like physically uncomfortable, but I just kind of change my routine a little bit on those certain shots and just, again, know it's coming so it doesn't surprise me. Just try to opt for, if it's a scramble shot, try to opt for a different position. But I think that I'm like throwing as normal as I feel like I'm going to. Like I feel like I'm where I'm gonna stay as far as like form and timing and all that. I feel like my timing is really good and my form feels like crisp. But yeah, just this a couple things I have to look out for. The most common one for sure is like if I'm in a straddle stance and my weight is on my left leg more, like not just a straddle, but then I have to pull my torso over to the left. It really creates an uncomfortable, like a shin splint type of pain up my fibia, whatever that is. Those muscles there.
The shins.
But yeah, that's the most common one. And so just try to avoid that if I can.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for sharing. So I think it was a 2-year extension with Discraft announced in 2024, which would carry through the end of this year. So I'm not necessarily asking who or what, unless you want to share anything. My question is more like, is there anything significant on the horizon for you that would change how you pursue contract renewals or negotiations? Like, just obviously the world around us has continued to change. You're at a different point in your career. Is there anything that's like a factor there, or is it more just like, repeat of the same and just kind of seeing what's on the horizon and making decisions?
Yeah, I think that I've been around that side of it for a long time, and I'm happy about that because I have a lot of experience in what works for both parties and how we can find like a mutually good deal. So everyone's happy, like January through December. That way I'm not sitting here in, what are we in May, like wondering, oh shoot, my contract's coming up. I actually did know that, but I forgot until you said that.
Oh, okay.
So like, yeah, to have me not worrying or needing to start this conversation, like, Discraft and we've worked together for a long time and at different stages of my life and different, lots of different situations. And they, I'm not going to be leaving Discraft. We can just spoil that now. Definitely not gonna be leaving.
Oh, it's spoiled.
All right. Well, awesome. Yeah, that's not spoiling it. You're just telling us, right? So there you
go. I mean, they stuck with me through my injury, and not only did they continue, we have to play a certain amount of tournaments and do a certain amount of posts and all these things, right? These requirements, and they just said, take your time, do what you need to do, and we're gonna even keep paying you, and helped me out even more than they were contractually obligated to. So like, that is a company that I want to stand by and just like show my appreciation back. And I love the disc that we've created. Like, I just feel my bag is just so good. I know, and like being a part of the process and seeing how quickly and how professionally they handle everything is just like, it's crazy because now it's an expectation of like, wow, Discraft's on it. They always do this good. They always do that good. And right. But, they've lived up to it and given me no reason to have anything but like positivity. So, just like excited for the way that, our paths aligned again and look forward to like, hopefully another decade.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. Last question for me is, so obviously there's multiple events between now and then, so I'm jumping ahead, but just curious, like, are you looking forward to the Europe, I'm going to call it the swing, but also just your comment on back-to-back majors being 10 days apart. Like, does that feel like a good thing for you, or is that like kind of crazy? Just curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I actually, this is slightly off topic just for 1 second, I promise. But the Pro Tour asked us like, hey, name your 5 favorite courses so we can post it, whatever. And I started to fill out the form and I literally couldn't narrow it down. I was like at 10 or 15 courses and I was like, how? Like, and it left me feeling so like amped up and just like, damn, like this is amazing. Like we play amazing courses. This is so cool. And it just like put me in this positive headspace before the year even started. And like, usually like, I know that you guys know my love for Maple Hill. And I'm always like, Maple Hill, looking forward to it. Maple Hill and Worlds and Maple Hill, Worlds and Maple Hill. But like this year, I'm just feeling so like excited about every event. Like for starters, US Women's, my father-in-law is the tournament director.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, I guess I can see that, but all right.
The title sponsor. So like, there's going to be a lot of Discraft things, and me, Missy, Holland, and Val are going to be doing like, clinics and pro panels and lots of different Discraft things in conjunction, and yeah, and also just first major or next major.
Yeah, the next one. Yeah, literally 1
yeah,
month from
but
today, by the way. It's going to come
1 month?
fast. Yeah,
Wow,
1 month from
and
today.
then obviously Portland to try to repeat. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to yeah, playing Milo again, and not just
Oh,
Glendoveer,
yeah.
which I do love Glendoveer, but Milo too. And I
Can
just
mix it in.
think it's been a while since I've been there, so just picturing the greens and walking down those fairways, it's just really cool. And then I was really looking forward to coming here to Washington because I hadn't played here since 2014. I realized.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so yeah, there's just a lot of things at PCS I'm really looking forward to. Like that's where I hurt my ankle.
Yeah.
And those are like some of my long extended family, and I'm just like really excited to see all the guys at PCS and get out on the course and yeah, just like walk across that bridge. Not
Be careful
actual,
on the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go on the bridge, but you know, hopefully get through hole 7 this time, knock on wood, and yeah, play the event, hope to take it down. Yeah, that would be awesome. A really cool full circle moment for me. And yeah, just a lot of things I'm looking forward to. Obviously Worlds, and first time going to Estonia, so I'm really excited to see how, from my own perspective, how Estonia like treats loves and welcomes disc golf. It looked so cool watching that the last couple of years. So yeah, I'm excited about everything to come, and yeah, I'm just like really looking forward to things right now.
Very cool.
So, Paige, you used to do a video, I think it was YouTube or just media in general, where you would highlight, or I forget how you would do it, but highlight an FPO player for some specific throw or a shot. Do you remember that? What was that called?
Yeah, nice line.
Nice line. So yeah. I always thought that was pretty special. A competitor, you know, interviewing or pointing out competitors' skills and highlighting them. Who's the FPO player today that impresses you with their throwing styles? Because there's been a few that have really entered the scene in the last few years.
Yeah, I would say it's different every week.
Okay.
Just like, I don't know, because it's like, yeah.
I mean, if I bring up some names, for instance, Alizra, Midling, Silva, I'm thinking who else? Newcomers. There's just a lot of them, and you've been playing on all different cards. I think you might have mentioned that in social media too. You're like, I get to see so many different people throwing now that just are impressive. So like, is there any that just stand out to you, or is that unfair to put you on the spot with, you know, calling out one or two?
Yeah, I mean, I can just say like recent ones, because it's everybody is the best at something.
Okay.
You know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want Missy's clutch putting. I want Holland's. I want Ella's Spikeiser sidearm. You know, like everybody is so good at something. I think most well-rounded, like any kind of shot that I just like, well, that person's probably going to pull that shot off, is actually probably Jessica Weiss. Wow. She has like a lot of different utility shots. Like, you never know what line she's going to take. Never know. You can do so many different things. But like recent surprises, I would say, like even just this week, was Hannah Wynn. Every time I play with her, I remember my first time playing with her was at the Hall of Fame. I think that's what the name of it was. The last time there was a major at the IDGC.
WR Jackson,
I played with Hannah Wynn there at the Jackson, and I remember my first time playing with her, and she was very solid. And I think she's only gotten way better. Smooth power, and like she doesn't throw like super fast or hard, but she's got the perfect discs in her bag, like stability wise, to just flip them up and hyzer flip shots, and just like peering the gap on a hyzer and just watching it flip up to flat like midway through the gap. It was awesome watching that this week, and her putting was amazing. And Rebecca like all of a sudden got a sidearm that's just like a laser beam, not just like for utility chip shots. Like she's like relying on the sidearm here and there and like powering it through the gap. So obviously those are recent ones, but you said Ellie Ezra for sure. She's top tier talent for sure. She's new on the tour. She's got a lot of different strengths, and I think once she kind of like fine tunes, like, okay, these are my 3 main strengths, and I'm gonna like focus on those 3, and then uses the other ones for utility, I think she's gonna score a lot better. I think she's still like figuring out what the best things for her are. So
she's
her
young.
decision, yeah, she's still like deciding like what's my strength, and but yeah, she's gonna be unbelievable. She's gonna win like player of the year for sure in her career.
Wow. I feel like I'm either recollecting incorrectly, as meaning like maybe not the exact details, but I feel like there was a time when we used to talk, Paige, whether it was an interview or in person, you were kind of saying like, hey, I want the day, or I hope the day comes where like so many more women are in contention to win every single week, right? Is that, have we got to go further than this, right? But we're closer.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember like, it doesn't seem like that long ago either. Like that, I was like, how can we not have chase card coverage?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Like, the chase card is 3 shots back. Like, what if they win? Like, that's the story to be told, you know? And now here we are, like just a few years later. I really think it was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there's roaming cameras. They're tracking, okay, someone's shooting out on hole 14. Go find them, you know? And like, there's another cool thing is like when you go out to an event like Shelton, for example, like there wasn't just the big gallery for the lead card. There are people that are actual, like real, I don't mean to say this, like hear my whole sentence, but there are like real fans, you know, that are like, they're there to see that person. They don't care if that person's in 6th place or 60th. They're going to go follow that person. And which is really cool because you'll look over and you'll see a gallery on like the 8th card and you'll be like, oh, you know, there's Own, or there's, you know, and you just know like, okay, we have so many different types of humans and personalities, and that people like feel a connection to, and they want to cheer that person on, and they're willing to like take time off work and come watch and cheer them on and walk through the woods in the rain together. Like, it's just yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. Disc golf was lightning fast growth through the pandemic, and then it kind of plateaued, but you're still having this development of disc golf at a more regular pace now. So it is cool. It's still growing, and we brought you on because we've been impressed, as always, with who you are. And I wonder sometimes, Paige, I don't think this is the case, especially, I don't mean us specifically, but you ever find yourself being like, hey, it's kind of nice, like no one hits me up to be on interviews, or like maybe they do, like, but like it's there was a time where it was Paige every week, Paige, right? And you had to figure this out. Like, do you look forward to these? Hey guys, I'm doing something cool. Like, I'd like to talk about it. Or like, where are you at with that? Is this nice to be less frequent?
I think it's nice when it's not just about a win.
Okay.
And it's like, what's going on with you? You know?
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to text from my dad when I did a good job. I want to text when I did, like, hey, can I help? Like anything, you know, talk to me about life, you know, like, yeah.
Good.
The pat on your back is the trophy. You don't need all these other things. Like, yeah. So it's nice when you're not doing so good and people check in. And that's like, you know, I know you're asking media wise, but
yeah,
you know, just all around, I think that's cool. But
that's
yeah,
good.
I think it's also nice because we don't have like these award ceremonies really anymore at tournaments. So like being able to like have a platform to like thank my sponsors and the people that support me is awesome. So like that's all obviously a good opportunity to do so, like here on y'all's podcast. So
yeah,
I think it's nice. Definitely.
I appreciate that as well. And it's hard. I have I don't want to say best friends. I've got close friends, Paige, that I probably don't text enough either. But I find out like, oh, hey, they have a new job, I should reach out, right? There are sometimes key moments where it makes sense, of course. And obviously one of them that prompted this was your 2 recent performances were just awesome. And we wanted to bring you on and just understand how things are going and where you plan to go. And it sounds like everything's pretty positive. Yeah, things with Ayla and the recording and your family and dogs and traveling. And so that's wonderful to hear. This is a good catch up. You mentioned, thanking or putting your sponsors on the platform. Obviously, you mentioned Discraft. Is there anybody else? I mean, we don't want to set you up either to have to say 25 different people, but like, is there anyone else?
No, I only have 3 sponsors, and I try to keep it that way. Just Discraft and Grip and OTB. And I've been with Grip. I think that's the only bag I've ever been sponsored by. I had a Gorilla bag back in the day. I do remember that. But yeah, they just been with me for over a decade, and just lifetime warranty, and it's best bag on the market and the original bag. So I feel like it's an honor to represent them. And Bag Boy, I have 4 sponsors. Bag Boy, being able to put the bag on the cart and being able to not be picking up every time I bend down, it's just like a game changer. Also, it kind of gives me something else to focus on when I'm on the course, like jumping over roots and stuff, and not thinking too hard about that 4 putt I just had. With the Bag Boys, super awesome. And then OTB, those are my buddies. Those are my besties. And I know they're just watching in the shop while they're packing orders and helping me sell my discs and help fund my tour. And while they're packing orders and work, and they're on there watching DGN and cheering me on. And so I do think about that sometimes. And when we have the OTB basket and I make a putt on it, I just that's for the boys in the shop. And so it's just and I already talked about Discraft, and those guys are again like family to me. So it's just nice to be to have found like-minded companies and business models that we can collaborate, and I don't have to feel like it's this sponsorship where I have to do this in order to do this. Definitely those 4 companies, big time thank you. And also just everyone that roots for me and through whatever stage in my career. I hope that you root for yourself as much as you root for me. So love you guys.
That's awesome. I'm throwing TitanDiscGolf.com up. They present our show this year, and they have all of your discs there as well. I'm looking right now. Paige Pierce ESP Stalker, Paige Pierce Z Light Drive, Sparkle Z Drive, the Fierce, the Passion, look, the Nuke. They've got all special stamps, bottom stamps. What was that?
Souls? SOL? Soul?
Let me be a little bit more specific.
That was my go-to in Shelton, so that's the reason I'm saying. It's not
I do see. Wow.
You ever thrown a soul map?
The Z Soul is this is the one that they have. They have 70 of them in stock. Everybody. Have I ever thrown one? It's very possible that I've been handed one and thrown one. I bet my son told me it'd be a good disc for me. Would you agree?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's a good disc for everyone. I definitely recommend them a lot to newer players, but also
Noodle arms.
I'm a pro also, so
Oh, it's true. It depends on how you throw it. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
For sure. But it's a understable, glidey mid range that's in between a putter and a mid. I would call it.
How do you?
But when I don't want to throw sidearm, that was the purple one I was throwing. When I don't want to throw sidearm, I just hit my sole on the left side of the gap, and it just slowly breaks over to the right.
So I am a Discraft Comet thrower. I like the original limited edition ESP Comets. You kind of mentioned a little bit of understable mid here. Is this more of a buzz type rim? Because I know Comet's pretty unique. Is it more in a flat top kind of?
Yeah, honestly, the closest comparison, this is going to show my age and everything, but Innova Panther.
Oh yeah,
is what it felt like. It's really small diameter.
Okay.
So which the gaps seem big. But yeah, much smaller than a Comet, and it doesn't have that lip on the bottom. It's it's a pretty not domey, but it has a soft dome. And yeah, just really small diameter, and I would think it's slower than a Comet.
Okay. Well, that'd be
4.50 450-3.
You got it. Yeah, good. We quizzed you. You got it. Ding. We'll give
But
you
I
some.
don't know what's on it.
Give you some points.
Nice.
Yeah, points for Paige before she goes.
Thank-
I'm seeing now. I'm like, this is wonderful. I love talking disc golf. I'm looking at it, and there's this nice clear one with a rainbow stamp. That looks really nice. There's also wow.
disc.
There's a white, like another clear one, but it has almost like a ghostish, like white stamp. So, anyways, people, go check these out. They have all 70 of the pictures there, and I'm just looking through each of them. So, fun fact, we'll just readdress it right now before we let Paige go. One of these pictures on their website of 35,000 discs, there's 7 of them with our logo on the picture. If you find that, check out, and they'll send you a gift card of equal or more value, so you get buy one, get one free. So there you go. Paige, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for joining. It was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys for having me for sure.
Yep. We'll touch base again soon. If not the latest, the tailgating at MVP Open. I'm sure we'll catch up at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be over there for those meatballs.
Yeah. There's food everywhere. Okay, cool. Wonderful, Paige. Safe travels. Have a good time out there. All right, here we go. Boom. Oh, I got to swap Ben back in. Whoop. Cool interview. I told you before she came in, Josh, or before our live show, I said she's chill. She'll talk about anything. We didn't ask her about anything and everything, but like, she's pretty open book.
Yeah, she's an inspiration to all. Super cool. I like that.
Yeah, she's been doing it for a long time, right? I mean, there's like, she talked about the scar tissue, which I think she was going at a couple different angles with that, but it's like, yeah, she's been there and she's done that. If you talk about on tour, she's had some of the best, like the highest of the highs, right? However many majors, I should know the count right off the top of my head. High teens, 16, 17, I don't know what it is. I forget. Anyway, highs of the highs. Paige has also had some of the lows right? Losing those events and having different challenges, and then personally, like, with injuries and kind of recovery. So like, and she's been on camera and off camera and all those things. So like, yeah, it's always interesting to hear her perspective. It's certainly something worth listening to.
Ben's traveling with a dog, an actual dog. I'm not talking about his wife.
It's that's why I'm always looking down, because she's always like biting at my ankles, and I have to comfort her. So it's
wonderful. Okay, let's do this. I have no idea which or who of you submitted your pop drop lock picks. I don't know that.
That's why I had to drop off, because I forgot and I submitted it.
Okay.
I'm just doing terrible nowadays.
I'm not sure if Nick did, so I don't know how we're gonna play this one. I think we give him till like the end of the night to submit it to us, at least in a group chat. We were pretty hard fast, and if Evan was here, we might say rules are rules. I don't know, but we might extend for him on his evening. By the way, where is Nick?
He's a busy man.
I said, people are, where is he? I think, is he just like relaxing at home playing video games?
Just kicked back, drinking out of a coconut with a little umbrella. No, his work was demanding today.
Dude, he's got demanding work. He's like Minecraft blowing up TNT.
He's Jack Black.
Lava.
Yeah, lava chicken. Why do we know that, Ben? Did you watch the movie?
I watched it on Friday or Saturday in the drive-ins in Shelton.
I watched it with my kids a few weeks ago. All right.
Dennis. Sorry.
This segment, Pop Drop Lock, presented by Hooligan Discs. Hooligan Discs, really cool brand, really cool plastic. I'm not going to lie. I love their brand. I'm not sponsored by them. You can say, well, this segment is, yeah, but I'm not. I think just generally they're a really cool brand.
Wait, real quick. Actually, a top pro in disc golf. I'm not going to name their name. I was talking to them yesterday, and they were like, yeah, the Vibe and the Yeet and the Thread are all really good discs.
Well, there you go.
Not sponsored by Hooligan, which is why I'm not going to mention it. But they said he's thrown them and felt them, and they're really good discs. So.
Okay, so we're in this segment, Pop Drop Lock. But before I get into it, again, Hooligan Disc presents it. They have a new run, Ben, of the Dime. And this will be the first run in premium. The first run in premium. They look beautiful. They're similar to a Luna in feel maybe in flight, but they have a bead. So if you're kind of curious of what it is, that's how you describe
Such a
it.
good. I love the dime. I actually genuinely, unironically like the dime for putting. I've never thrown it, obviously, but I mean, I have thrown it, but it's never was used for a thrower. But I think it's going to be such a straight, like knowing what the base plastic dime, how it flies, it's going to be a really good, just like a Luna. Yeah.
When
like
you throw
that
it,
flight,
you just
but then
go,
it beats in straight.
oh, that's a dime. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into it. Nick's picks, they're going to be the old ones, so I don't think we count it. I'm not going to put them up because we don't have his picks in there. Oh, maybe he did. I don't think so. Let's see. Let's see if they're the old ones. Oh, hold on. They're the new ones,
Whoa.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
They're
I
new
can't
because
read
I
anything
see
'cause
some
it's
of
so
these names
blurry,
that
but-
aren't playing tour event last
they're
week.
European
Okay.
names.
So we'll read it out for Nick. Good job, Nick. Herman Hotlow to Pop. We're not going to know these. This is just us trying to practice our
Herman Hotlow.
language talking.
Great name.
Remember
You
Asa
like that,
Pekatula?
Josh?
yeah,
Remember
just like
Asa?
Yeah, I know, but it's the way you pronounced it. Just
Herman
I don't know.
Hotlow.
Herman
I
Hotlow.
said it the most American English way you possibly can.
I don't think you did anything wrong, but I think I heard something else, and I'm not going to repeat it. so.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. Drop
No,
it. So that's
everybody can just do their
NPO. Herman.
imagination now.
Herman drops. Pops. Drop is Elvis. Again, the most American English way possible. Saviven.
Is that Elvis Presley? Oh,
Elvis Saviven.
Preston?
Yeah, there's an okay. And then
It's all
lock.
blurry.
Ezra Aderhold is a lock at the Kona State Open.
It's a good lock.
Popping.
Yeah, a world traveler.
Popping. FPO. Elva Preston. That is pretty interesting. Elvis anyways.
See, now you know why I was confused. All right.
Yeah, Elva Preston dropping Jenny Karpinen and lock Anakin Steen. Now, we just read Nick's off, but let's go ahead and preview this. Pop drop lock for a few select events. Let me tell you what they are audibly right now, and we'll verify each week when we do this because we know people are playing along. We're not saying that we love this, but this is a slight different skill for I think 3 events: the Kona Piste Open, the Ale Open, and the Turku Open. I think that was it. Yes. So those 3 will be rating based. Same exact concept, same exact point structure. The only difference is we're not playing with average performance on placement. We're playing average performance, meaning their player rating is what we're going to call their average performance, their player rating. You are playing pop or drop on their player rating. It is different. Ben says he has a strat. He thinks it's easier. I remember this last year.
Yeah.
It is easier. You just pick Kristen to drop, and then you hope she drops a lot.
Okay, so that's those events, but at least for this one, Kona Piste Open. The ones that will be in Europe that we'll still do the normal is PCS Open. There's over 50 plus touring players, regular touring players there, so we're going to do it. And the World Championships. Those will also be not Finnish, as in Finland, placement. Average placement, those will also be. So we'll make sure to mention it, but 3 events will be rating based, the rest will not. All right, next up, my picks. And I've just been talking per usual. Here we go. I have to read this off the screen. These are hard. Mika Martikainen to pop. Drop Paul Ulibarri. Ooh. Lock Niklas Antila. By the way, lock is still lock. That doesn't change. Popping FPO. Nicole Mikulastik. Dropping, Ben, you knew it, Kristen Lott. Lock Silva Saarinen. Now, maybe that was a mistake. I don't know. But I've already picked Kristen 3 times, and I only have 2 left. So I'm playing a game that Silva tends to perform really good in Europe, and she's already been performing well here.
Yes.
All right,
Matt, and out of respect for my competitors and out of respect for the game and this competition, I'm going to give you some inside knowledge that I probably didn't need to tell you, because it seems that Niklas Antila will not be making it. At least that's what he told me last night. A couple of flights got canceled, and I don't think it's possible for him to make it to the event now. At least that's what he told me.
That. Had I found this out prior to, which actually we need to review our points as well. We didn't do that.
I'm saying you can change it. I'm telling you, so you change it. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. On the fly. No, I'll probably get it into you. I don't want to hold up the show. I'll get it into you before the evening.
No, I'm not saying now.
Okay. Thank you for that. And so, guys, it is a ratings-based thing. I will give you my tips and tricks on it. Ben, you already said it. It's pretty simple. But, and maybe this is an advantage now to everybody else, but everyone else is probably doing this. I will go through and I'll find players who I think are newer, but are showing a trend of upward performance. So I'll literally look in their rating history, their rating stats.
That's what I do. Yep.
I'll try to understand how it's been playing for them over the past months, years. Are they trending in a certain direction? Is this the highest they've ever been? Is this the lowest they've been? What's their trend? And then hope that you pick the right player to pop. Drop, to Ben's point, is a little easier. Just pick a high-rated player that, like, chances are small they go up down there. So, all right, Ben, you're up. Here's your picks.
All right, pop. I'm going Eli Swanson. I picked him last year in Europe, and I don't think he let me down really. Drop. I'm going. I honestly can't read because it's so blurry.
It's Daniel
Davidson.
Daniel Davidson. Lock, going Ezra. I believe in Ezra. He just played well. So, pop, I'm going Amanda Lennartson. Oh, my goodness. Drop, I'm going Kristen Lett. In lock, I am going Silva Saarinen.
All right. Good picks. You and me did the same exact there. We're on the same page with our FPO specifically.
And I've been doing terrible all year.
We're going to review that. We didn't do that yet. We should have. But Josh,
But like terrible.
Here you go.
Anyway, let's see. Dennis Augustin to pop. James Conrad to drop. And look, Ben, I have Niklas.
You're welcome.
I know. We got to change that, right?
I would have picked D-Class. He's like the no-brainer pick.
Look, it just changed.
Oh, on our side, pop, drop, lock.
No, I just
prepared.
changed it.
Oh,
I love that.
I changed it live, real time. I'm like producing the show over here. Maury Villman. And Rachel
that's
Turton
literally
to pop.
where I'm going. I'm going with Villman as well.
All right. Rachel Turton to pop. Katie Tati to drop. And Silva Saarinen also to lock. So there you go. See if I can actually rebound after like some really bad weeks.
I think Ezra's a good pick, probably. I picked Paul to drop, so I can't. There's no way I'd double down and pick him to lock too. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. Okay. Well, Ben just dropped out for a minute, probably dealing with a dog. But
no, I'm here. Yeah, but I
dropped.
I am here. But
I want to put a placeholder. I want
to
to put like an image of Ben. Maybe the hot chip challenge picture will be his placeholder.
Yeah, I'm here. My wife just had to take the dog out. So
cool. All right. So let's go ahead and do now. By the way, some people, and I know we've talked about this, people are like, man, you spend so long. Is this the whole show you guys talk about picks? Listen, some people really like this. I'm not going to lie. They want to hear insights. They want to hear how and why. They want strategy for how they're going to do their picks. They listen to this eagerly to think about how it's going to play out.
We're like the fantasy disc golf podcast. I mean, we're the fantasy football podcast or like show of our own product. It's kind of funny.
It's wonderful. And it's going to get better and better thanks to our dude Shrek. All right. So here's how the points played out.
Yeah.
What, Nick? Eventually.
I was gonna say eventually, like you see all these fancy disc golf apps popping up. I think we have a unique one here. I think eventually, I don't know how, like legally with money and stuff, but I think eventually we could get like smaller leagues where it's like you don't have to. You can play with us, but you can just play with.
We talked about this for this year. We did the stars this year. This year, so you can pick your own league, but it's still as a group. But yeah, there's an opportunity. If you look at all the users, we've had over 1,600 people playing this game. I think active, we have 600 plus. It's fun. I think people hear about it. They don't know about it. We don't advertise for it beyond our show. So anyways, here's a review of how it played out. Josh is like, do we have to do this? And frankly, this was my
multiple
worst
weeks in a row.
Yeah, my worst week, my worst game of the year.
I needed that, Matt. I've been keeping my eye on you. I needed this week to climb.
Matt, and you beat me by 22 points still. And you're saying it's your worst week ever.
Yeah. I haven't had any negative minus point weeks, which is pretty good. I was top 10 in the season leaderboard of all users, which is cool. Not anymore. So
I literally started so strong, but whatever.
I forgot to do the graphic.
I'm just picking whoever Hunter picks.
I forgot to do the graphics. So I'll just pull it up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to start picking whoever Hunter picks. I got to see if I can.
But how do you do that pre-show? I think that's the hard part.
We know the developer who can see the back end.
Just changed me. Okay. So I have to read off the usernames. No, we don't. Okay. So we're going to go from the bottom. Josh, minus 15. What was your problem?
I mean, really, truly across the board, but I actually want to make 2 comments.
This was Cascade Challenge.
Yes. Nicholas Antela and Rebecca Cox. I picked them both. Well, Nicholas to pop and he didn't. And Rebecca to drop. And here she is competing for the win. I'm like, sweet. And then Emily Weatherman didn't really hurt me. The only reason I'm mentioning that name, Matt, is I don't know if you've seen a post. She was at first DNF in a long time. And it seems like she's really struggling with some physical issues. So unfortunate for her.
Yeah. So minus 15. Myself, worst week I've had by far. 7 points. So do you remember last episode? I was like, hey, I'm picking Big Germ. And I was like, I got to keep an eye on him. If he drops out, I got to pick somebody else. He played around.
First round, I was scared, Matt. I was scared. Germ went off.
I'm telling you.
Or at least he was doing good at a certain point. He was -2.
Different reasons. But remember, we got scared of picking Haley King. Remember? It was like, hey, she could be the greatest, but I can't pick her because of XYZ. That's how I'm feeling now with Big Germ. It's so frustrating. I'm like, if he finishes, you get so many good points. He dropped.
Oh, did he drop out?
DNF'd. 0 points.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what he did.
Yep. DNF. Jake Mon, bad week to pick him. He was up there literally on the top 4 for a period. I ended up losing points with him, but thankfully, for my points' sake, he moved way back down to about a little better than his average, but I lost 6 points there. So I was lucky that Ricky made a big push because I was going to be negative points for sure. But I got 10 with him. And then the other mistake, this is I guess my own fault somehow, some way. She was listed and registered Alexis Mandahano, but she dropped out. Just like you're telling me about Niklas. So I had 2 players that didn't play and Kat Murch, who I picked a lock, and it was one of her worst weeks.
Yeah, her worst, yeah.
So across 1, 2, 3 players, I got 0 points because of that. And then I had Jake Mon, who gave me minus. Other than that, I was like, okay.
By the way, I picked Gannon Burr to drop, and it didn't hurt me. So there you go.
All right. And then Ben, you are sorry, it'd be Evan, but he's not on the show anymore, but he did okay. Then Ben, you are not the leader of the week. We got to still get to that. But Ben, what helped you out? I see what it is. Hannah?
Yeah, honestly.
Yes.
Hannah Stefanovic.
Yep.
Yeah, she
was almost half your points.
Yeah, well, she played well. 2, her average rating was more than how many players were in the field.
You could get 3 or 4 points if you picked her.
Yeah, basically no matter what. But she played well. And yeah, that was my biggest one. And then I think I had a good Cal Onquist didn't he got me a few points. I don't know. I think And then I picked sort of good winners, not really top 10s and stuff.
Robinson,
like that,
Isaac, and Holland Hanley. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah. If you get points for a lock, that's pretty good. And then finally, Nick, he's not here to relish this. This is his first week, I think, and he's had a really rough season.
I didn't know he won.
Yeah. 68 points to Nick. It looks like his wins were actually pretty good. Alden Harris to pop, 27 points.
Yeah.
Eric Oakley to drop, 21 points. Ricky Wysocki to lock, 10 points. Anakin Sten, 14 points to pop. She did it. He messed up on Rebecca as well, like Josh did, and he picked Owen Scoggins to lock, 10 points there. He had good picks. Like, that's good. That's solid. So, if you do look at the season leaderboard, I am in 13th. Ben is in 27th, only
I'm coming.
45-ish points behind me.
Yep.
Scrolling. Josh is 188th.
Oh, I know.
125 points behind, I think. And Nick, even as good as he did there, he's 241st. And I don't know what that is, 160 points behind.
I want to
us.
win the season again.
You got to come for me, Ben. You did it last year. All right. That's Pop Drop Lock. We've got more to talk about here, so let's get to talking. Ben, you like that? The dog barking? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my wife to go. She's just sitting there.
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
Ben, it doesn't matter. Literally, it doesn't matter to us, and I don't think anybody else cares. They probably love it. She can have a segment if she wants. Okay.
Yeah.
You want a segment? She wants me to turn off the camera. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
I'm still here in spirit.
Okay.
Don't worry.
That's okay. We hear you. Okay. Here's a segment for Ben and Josh and me to talk about. We hope the listeners will enjoy. I came up with something called "Will they turn it around or can they keep it up?" So that's obviously
is there like we
two
need
different
Ben to
ways.
give us like a theme song for that segment. Like, will they turn it around?
Or will they keep it up?
Right. That's pretty good. I used to do my own recorded Judge That Disc Golfer segment back when we first started. Judge That Disc. I used to do all that.
Nick used to hate your.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, this is horrible.
intros. Cringe.
Okay.
Welcome to Judge.
Judge That Disc Golfer. Okay. The game show. Yeah. Okay. So
will they turn it around?
you guys gave it your best go. Will they turn it around or I guess, can they keep it up? What this implies is players that are, we'll call it underperforming according to how they have performed the previous season, or players who are playing great. Can they keep it up? So we have quite a few to talk through. So you don't got to talk in length and depth, but what do you think here? Owen Scoggins. She was averaging 5th last season. She's averaging 7th this season. However, we're a third of the way through the season. She just got her 2nd podium. Is she going to turn her season around and show up more than that? Is she going to get back to her average of 5th place by the end of the year? She's only 2 off, but what do you think?
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. I think the competition's a lot tougher.
Yeah,
in my
I just
opinion.
I hate to say it, but I just think as you continue to get older, by the way, she's still exceptional. Like she could win events, but it's just going to be
Yeah, she's
harder
a
and
Wonder
harder to
Woman.
swim upstream, right? Like she'll probably prove me wrong because I said that, but that's my take. Is I think it'll be hard to keep improving.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
that's
maybe
good.
she'll
No,
get
that's a good
three
quick
wins,
response.
But no,
I want to believe this is the Ben Kenny style. I want to believe she'll do it. I don't know that she
Yes.
will. Like you said, she might even get a win, which actually, here's the thing. If she gets a win and if she performs somewhat like she has been, that could move her back into that 5th place.
yeah,
I do not think it's out of reach. I don't know that she will. Okay, Rebecca Cox. We just talked about her. Last year, she averaged 10th place. This year, so far, 3rd way through the season, 16th. She's moved 6 spots back. But that last season, we're talking about her whole season performance. So is she going to get back to this 10th place, or is she going to make it back to 10th? That's what we're looking for.
yeah, for sure. I'm optimistic that she still has a lot of room to improve and maybe even beat that. Like
What would that
Agreed,
take,
I think
though? What
she's
would that
going
take,
up.
though, to move from 16th average right now to 10th? She's going to have a lot of top 10 finishes on the way out. You think so?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of disc golf left, and I think I know it's a numbers game, but she had one really bad event in there, this season, right? Champions Cup. So like, I realize that doesn't go away. That weighs her average down, but I'm just saying she could easily finish in top 10s, and eventually wait that out. I don't know. It's my feeling.
All
I have
right.
the same feeling. Yep.
Yep. Evelina.
Ooh.
So last year, 5th.
Ooh.
This is the same exact as Own, moved to 7th. And actually, if I pull it up quick, I can tell you how many podiums she has. One. She has one for sure podium.
She has one podium this year.
That's it. So one less than Own.
Ooh.
But similar trend as Own, 5th to 7th.
You gotta say she's gonna improve. I mean, she's a world champ.
But is
so.
she gonna get back to 5th? Is what you're saying? By the end of the season, she'll be averaging 5th.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't suspect I see her fall off, but I just think it's going to be hard. Like last season was so incredible, and I just don't see it being the same incredible, and it hasn't started that way. And by the way, I'm not talking about falling off, but like no, like she's going to finish at average 7th.
Yeah,
this year.
Like that's the case. We're just trying to see if they'll make it back to where they were.
Yeah,
last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
No, she won't.
This one, I have a feeling we have a pretty unanimous answer, but I'm curious. Jakub Simmerod, pretty significant drop off according to last year's performances, which took a little while for him to get going, but by the end of the year, he averaged 22nd. By the end of last year, that was his average finish. This year, so far, a third of the way through the season, he's averaging 63 for his placement. Is he getting back to 22nd by the end of the year for his average finish?
I don't think 22nd, but I think he's gonna improve. Dude, he's a strange character. I feel like he'll get like top 10 or 80. It's like,
but he hasn't gotten top 10
between.
this year, so that's the question. So like Matt, I have no reason. I have zero insight for speculation other than when you rattle off a 59, 76, 79, 28, 75, then I'm saying you're not getting there. But I don't really have any.
But to Ben's point, it's not like out of place for him. Like that's kind of normal, and somehow he gets to 22nd by the end of the year.
But you look at last year. No. He's way worse than last year. Sorry to say it. Like last year, I think his worst finish was 60th. Worst. This year, he has 3 events that are like over that out of 5. That's like way worse start. Anyway.
All right.
I have no insights to offer. I'm only.
I think
numbers.
I don't want to say there's no way, but we would have to see him literally pop off.
It'd be awesome for him. Yeah, it'd be a surprise story.
For that to happen, for him to go to 22nd, he would have to have on the last 2/3 of the season. He would have to be like,
yeah.
I don't want to say top 10s, but close to that.
What's his country? Where is he from?
Oh, just Czech
Republic.
Yeah. Okay. Cole Redolin, interesting one. One. He averaged last year 22nd place across the whole season. This year so far, 37th. Is he going to get back to 22nd, just like we talked about Jakub? Cole Redolin from 37th to 22nd.
I think he can. I know he's battling injuries, so I think it's. I'd say
he was
yes,
last year too, right?
Yeah. But I guess it's still lingering. But I think he's so talented. I think he'll get back to that. It's just he's just gotta keep playing, figure it out.
Yeah, I think there's a numbers game, and I think he will improve. And there's enough of the season left for that to happen.
He just had an 8th place performance.
Right.
If that's any glimmer of hope. Yeah, I actually think he
still
will.
a lot of raw talent there.
I think he will turn it around.
Got to hook it all together. Yeah.
I do think he'll turn it around. This one, a lot of the people's favorite, and I'm not talking Greg Barsby, even though he is one of those. Matty O, 20th place last year. We saw him fairly often. This year, so far, 30th. 10 places different. It feels kind of significant. Is he going to turn it around and at least get back to 20th place average?
Yeah, I'd say turn around. That's too close of an average. Maybe if it was like 60, but like, yeah, it's like.
But he's averaging 30th. So like, what's going to change, Ben, that all of a sudden he's averaging way higher? He has to average way higher to get back to 20th.
He'll get his like random top 5s every other event that he always does.
As long, you're right. If he gets top 5s and he averages how he is currently, maybe. Josh, what do you think?
I'm going to derail. I'm laughing here because I got distracted for a second, and then you said a name, and I never heard the name, and then I almost just gave an opinion anyway. I was just going to be like, yeah, I definitely think. Like I was just going to ramble on. So I didn't hear who you're talking
Matty
about.
O.
I don't know. I kind of feel like he's getting too old. No, I'm just.
He has an 8th place finish in there at Music City.
Yeah.
But every other one is like outside of top 20 just about.
Yeah, it's weird. So I don't think he's getting back there.
Okay. James Proctor. He just returned, as in like 2 events ago.
Ooh.
He averaged last year. This is surprising. Where do you think he averaged last year? I know you're looking now, Josh, but Ben, what do you think he averaged last year, James Proctor? Like if you had to give him an average finish.
15th.
Yeah, everyone would feel higher than this. 25th. He got a win included. 25th is his average this year so far with his 2 returned events. 35th. Is he going to turn it around and at least get back to 25th?
I'm gonna say, like, I really like James Proctor, and I know him personally, not like as a friend, but like he came to my expo. I think because of the injury, on the safe side, I'd say he'll probably stick around the average he currently is. I don't see him doing any worse, but I think he's gonna need a year to really feel like himself again, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like I think he's going to improve a lot from where he is now. But I don't know if he can get back to where he was last year.
Yeah, to 20. And,
it's also an interesting because like we know his talent and all that, but like, did I hear it clearly? I'm hearing rumblings that like I don't think he's pursuing a long-term tour career. Is that true?
I have no idea about that.
I feel like I've kind of heard that like he may be like done in a year or two, which is just an interesting mindset also. But
absolutely.
By the way, if I'm completely wrong, somebody set me straight. I'll take the flack for it.
We can make up storylines. I've thought about that once. We could make up a storyline just to see where it goes.
But then no one would listen to us.
But it was all part of a plan and a test, right? We just wanted to feed out that
Simon
Lazat is going back to Discmania.
Yeah, everybody comment on today's show which thing we made up.
Yes. We'll never tell. Okay, few more. Chris Dickerson. Always an interesting conversation around this guy.
Oh, yeah.
So
he's
last
so
year,
sneaky.
Sneaky's the word, Ben. Last year, 11th place. I feel like that was sneaky last year because we didn't talk about him almost at all.
So sneaky. He wasn't even in the press ever.
So 11th place. So it still feels weird to say this, but now he's averaging just only 7 places worse, which is still kind of surprising. 18th. Is he going to turn it around? Is he going to, more or less, is he going to start or finish averaging out at least 10th place?
I'd say 18th is probably the more
sneaky. He's gonna do it.
More likely odds, in my opinion.
No, like he'll get to like 15th, really, but not to 11th again.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move to a different version. This is the or can they keep it up? Taylor Chosick, Ben, D1 athlete.
D1 athlete. Yes.
45th place last year. She's averaging 34th so far this year. Is she going to keep it up and keep that 11 place better?
She's going to get better, I believe.
So she'll keep it up.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have a lot of real
There's
insights,
like 40 people in the FBO field on that, like 45, 50. So, oh my, Dog Zen gives us a weekly $5 donation. Thank you so much. It pays for our $5 footlongs from 2008, and we really appreciate that.
Absolutely. So yeah, I would agree. Taylor's going to keep it up. I think she's going to keep it up. 34th is going to be her new average for this season. Madison Walker, Ben, your favorite pop player. She is popped this season, but last year was an injury issue, so maybe this is going to be the where she's at. 31st last year, 31st last year. This year so far, 21st. Is she going to keep it up?
Oh, keep it up. I believe in her. Yeah, she was so underrated last year. And actually, embarrassing story I want to tell. I was at Champions Cup, first event on the road. Have my pup, obviously. She's like 10 weeks old at that point. Madison Walker goes up to her, starts talking to me and starts petting my dog.
Pees on her?
my dog, Bird, just decides to just puke.
Oh,
just like right as she's petting her. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. This has never happened. And it hasn't happened since. It was just like so embarrassing. Like Madison Walker, the FPO pop player of last year, and my dog puked right in front of her. Like, it was bad.
Okay. Good story. I think she'll keep it up because I think the injury was really creating that difference last year. Josh, you said the same.
Yes.
Okay, Cadence Burge. Last year 21st, this year
Ooh,
14th. Is
she's
she
gonna
going to keep it up?
She's gonna get better. That's my
So she's keeping
cold
it up.
take, honestly.
Better than 14th. Yeah. She will be way better than she finished last year.
She'll keep it up.
She just
saw on
won an
Facebook
event.
that
Yeah, she won an MPO, right?
No,
no,
and they
MA
won.
won.
Oh, MA.
But it was against like boys probably older or similar to her age, so it's still very
Ratings
impressive.
everything was relative. Ratings were there, and she just beat them. So straight up.
Yeah.
I guess it's due to lack of FPO competition. So in that area.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. MPO side. Will they keep it up? Sullivan Tipton. I think the largest pop player of our year so far. So 46th place last year. He is now averaging 14th so far. Is he going to keep that up?
Oh.
I love Sully. Sully, I love you, bro. We're
Can
friends,
he keep
right?
it up?
We're friends.
Can he keep it up?
That's hard to keep
14,
it that
that's
hot.
high.
Yeah, like you got to
That's
come,
high.
like give him like a 25th, like
Yes,
average.
Josh, we're on the same wavelength today. I was literally about
Ah.
to say 25. Like he's
Yeah.
still making the Pro Tour Championship, but 14, that's like. But if he does it, like that is
That's awesome.
that is insane. Like that is utmost respect. But yeah, he's been playing hot. It's kind of like Luke Humphreys. Luke Humphreys, other than this year, he would lead the Pro Tour Championship. I know where there's a few more events we have, but like he'd be leading the Pro Tour points. I should say, like it seemed like every year after 3 events.
So maybe you guys will be on the right page with this one then. Paul Crayons, can he keep it up? 54th last year as his average. This season so far, 25th.
He's
know
going to keep it up. I believe in that.
You know what's funny,
He's
Matt? Before you
too
read
good.
his name, guess who I pulled up on my screen?
You're like, he's
Before
coming.
you
Paul
read it,
Krantz. I know it's
had a
coming.
feeling. Yeah, he'll keep that up. 25th
He'll
is a
keep
good
it.
average.
Easily.
And that's a great, to be clear, like that's great. And we're saying he can still do it.
That's right. That's why yes, exactly.
Okay. Here you go. You just picked him to win, Ben. Ezra Aderhold, 38th last year. This year so far, 17th. Is he going to keep it up?
Maybe 20th, but I
So
think
no,
around there.
he won't.
I don't think 17. I think maybe probably like 20. Because you just got to think all the players that like are consistently like dogs have like shown like you know as the
He
season
looked
goes
pretty
on.
good this
and,
past weekend, though, right? I mean, I know he fell off a bit, but
No, I know. I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. 20th. Like I think he's like he'd probably stick around 20th, 17th. I mean, actually, dude, I feel like Pro Tour points are so weird. Like, for example,
this is just average podium
Christensen.
finish, though. This is average podium finish.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
That's
It's
what we've
the
been talking
same.
about.
It's the same trend, Ben, as far as like a concept of what you're picking. But we're literally talking
Oh,
how
average
they-
podium. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
pop, drop,
I thought you
lock.
meant top 3. I was like, what does that even mean?
No,
like,
pop,
where he
drop, lock.
finishes.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
pop,
yes.
drop, lock is what we're playing.
Okay, yeah.
here,
Then
essentially.
if it's average, then yeah, I'm assuming he's gonna have a few great rounds and a few bad events. So I think
You can say
probably-
he'll have a better year than last year, but I don't think he's going to keep up. Now,
20th. I think 20th is realm.
okay. Austin Turner, last year 35, this season so far 16th place.
Huh. I mean, it's been awesome to see, but I just don't see that sustaining.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
I
so
see the
hard,
same
right?
thing.
Like I'm just gonna say, compared to like other true mainstream sports, like there's just so little reporting and insight. It's like, what am I don't have an opinion based
How
on
do you
anything
know?
except a hunch. My hunch is no, because it's just would be incredibly hard to do. But he's been around
Yeah.
the game for years, right? And if something clicked and he's committed, but like, why did he caddy all weekend?
Well,
Does
he
anyone
said
know?
something
His
about
wrist or something.
yeah, some
Okay.
slight injury of sorts, or at least rehabbing something.
So yeah, I'm going off that the wrist. That's
Yeah,
why,
okay.
like, if his wrist hurting,
Yeah.
he'll be 25th now.
So I say
don't really
no,
know.
just because like that's such a hot start. But boy, more power. to him.
because of
That'd be
his
cool.
hot start, I think he definitely would be better than last year, but I don't think he keeps up 16th. Okay.
Sure.
Anthony Barella. So last season, believe it or not, he averaged 20th place last season and he had a crazy start. So we're kind of in this same start period, third of the way through the season. He's now averaging 8th place, thanks partly to that win. Is he going to keep it up?
Keep it up for sure.
Yeah, he
He's too
should.
talented.
So what
He
happened
should.
last year that won't happen this year?
Less experience and just a really bad finish to the season. Like, I mean, obviously compared to the start, He just had some terrible events. He was up and down. So what's different, Matt?
Okay.
I don't know, except that a player like him shouldn't do that.
Back-to-back seasons. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, but I just mean you shouldn't have finishes in the 40s and 50s when you're good enough to win an event on any given weekend.
Right.
I know other players do that, but they shouldn't. Easy for me
Okay.
to say.
Moving on from that topic, still in the segment more or less of how players are performing. This is somewhat interesting. FPO has had 4 winners. However, Ella set aside as the first winner of the tour. We have now 3 winners who have multiple wins. We have Holland with 2, Kristen with 2, Missy with 2. So FPO is pretty limited right now in their winner selection compared to MPO, which we'll look at. Who is the next win coming from? Is it coming from someone in that list I just gave you, Ella, Holland, Kristen, Missy, or the field? Our next win.
That's. I think it's one of them. I think they're
saying the next
win. I guess
So
let's not go
Kona
Kona
Peach
Piste. No, let's.
Okay.
We like that's not easy or fair enough. Let's do it. The whole field is
So
there,
for conversation's sake, right? The next event where everybody's
at.
It's probably coming from them.
Ella, Holland, Kristen, Missy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
from them.
and I'll tell you, it's just like it's Kristen and I don't. They're all really good.
Yeah, that's tough. Like the whole field versus them.
Yeah, well, it's right. So say who's gonna beat them, right? I mean, by the way, there's
Silva.
at least no. I'm gonna say there's 5 people who can beat them, but that player has to
Own.
beat all of them. I know, but that player has to beat all of them.
True. Well, that's what you do.
I
When
know
you
it's
win.
not the way this. I know, but that is my point, right?
Yeah.
Like, in other words, the ceiling for Kristen, Missy, Holland, and why am I forgetting the 4th again? Ella.
Ella.
The ceiling for all of them probably just about beats everybody else's ceiling.
So Evelina, Silva, Haley King, Haiti Line.
Who's out for the now?
Okay. Cat Merch,
Yeah,
So,
right. But this is just. But do you understand my
Owen
point? Like,
Scoggins, Paige Pierce.
yeah, but the ceiling for all those players is higher than the ceiling of everybody you just listed, maybe with the exception of Ella. So, like,
Paige Pierce.
the ceiling for Kristen right now and Missy and Evelina might beat Paige.
So you're just
Right, so
talking
what
on
I'm
odds,
saying-
and that's what the question
Yeah,
is.
that's
is
what I'm
the
saying.
question is.
Like in other words, all of them have to play right below their standard, and one of those other players has to play at their peak to beat them.
That's an interesting take that they would have to play below their standard. So you're saying when those players are playing their best, nobody beats them.
Yeah.
Okay. Meaning Owen at her best cannot beat Kristen at her best.
Yeah, I think Owen's been on our show and almost says that. Of course, Owen's always fun to interview, but yeah, like I just think
This
like,
is interesting. This would
it
make for
doesn't
a
mean
whole
it
other
doesn't
segment.
mean it doesn't mean that like Owen can't win, right? Like that's what I'm saying.
I would
and Owen would still have to earn the win. Like this isn't a twisted situation where they give it away, but it's like you have to execute. And this is true of any sport, by the way, right? Like you have to execute when the opportunity's there. Like that's what it is. But
I am going to say something outrageous that's probably expected because it's related to Kristen. But I do feel, and call me crazy because it's all right. I don't care. People call me crazy anyways. But Paige Pierce at her best, as in like if she keeps
best?
coming. No, you said ceiling.
yeah,
So-
I know that, but I mean like her ceiling now in
Her ceiling,
May 2025.
just like with Paul Macbeth, like we can talk about him in a minute. Her ceiling is incredible. Her explosiveness, her ability to hit big things, do what we saw recently, right? At her best versus Kristen's best. And I'm not talking about like statistical history of like this person has this many wins, this wins, whatever. I'm talking literal talent versus talent. Kristen at her best versus Paige at her best. I know that's a crazy world we don't live in to see it, but if we're literally doing that, I actually think it could go towards Paige. I don't see Kristen being explosive in her play.
Yeah, I think I would have said
Consistent,
that
she's going to get more wins. So I don't know. It's a hypothetical. Okay, let's go to MPO. Is the next win coming from someone on this list or the field? So it's the winners we've had. Ezra Robinson, Adam Hammis, Nicholas Antila twice, Gannon Burr, Isaac Robinson, Anthony Barella. Is the next win coming from someone on that list or someone else? We have a lot of, my point is every week it's pretty much a new winner.
On that list. Oh, wait. No, that's tough because there's like the Rickies and the Pauls, but I'll say on that list just because it's going to be Gannon.
So who's getting the, okay, so Gannon will get his second is what you're thinking. At
wow, that's like, yeah, I mean, it's
Northwest Disc Golf Championship.
Yeah. That's such a complex list. And like, this is where it's interesting. If I apply the same logic, it's probably hard to say it's someone off of that list, even like a Paul or a Ricky. But here's the thing. I do think, right? Like when you see Ricky, like when he's really like throwing a scorcher, it's just like out of this world. Right. But statistically, it's got to be on that list. But that's just interesting. There's so much parity there. There's definitely more players who could.
Yeah,
win.
Calvin Heimberg, Paul Macbeth, Ricky Wysocki.
It's nowhere near as tight as I was saying the FPO field. Like I think it could easily be off the list. But if I was actually forced to put money, but if I'm putting money down, the next one's on the same list. It's just those are really good players.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll move on from that. Fun little fact. I asked AI to do this for me because I didn't feel like doing the math on it. I said players who've at least played 4 events, and they are at least better than 10th place on average. So I was looking for the top 10 players in FPO. Who do you think is the most consistent of those players? Top 10 performers in FPO. Who's the most consistent?
Colin Hanley?
Josh?
Missy Gannon, if it includes the recent events.
No. So consistency, I didn't specify. Ben, you were really close. Consistency just means you're in the top 10. Are you always finishing fifth? That's just consistency. Okay? That's what we're talking about. Standard deviation from their normal play. Kristen Lott. She literally only has a standard deviation of half a place.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's it. Across 4 events. Okay. And then MPO. Let me pull that one up. Who do you think in MPO? I expanded it to top 20 players because it's a larger field. Top 20 players, who is the most consistent? They are always just consistently finishing.
Gannon.
I was going to say Gannon. Didn't he just say he's like kept his top 5 streak alive or something?
Yes.
Okay. The answer is Calvin Heimberg. Most consistent. Wow. I'm not saying better. No, I'm not saying he's better than Gannon, but he's just plays the same week in and week out. His standard deviation is like 3.1, meaning place finishes difference. That's it. Gannon is 3.5. So they're very, very similar. After that, 3rd place goes to Paul Macbeth this year. There you go. If that's interesting to you. Just a very consistent finish. This push that he did at the end of that match, that round was incredible to get him back to that place. The only one that pushes him out of that was Champions Cup when he had the bad last round. That pretty much wraps up Matt's stats. I don't know if that's a thing, but
I love that. Matt's stats. Why have we never used that before?
I don't know. Reminder, everybody, PDGA rule proposals are coming. They will release them here on our show. If you're interested in that, tune in. We will not be doing a live episode, but don't let that take you away. We'll probably premiere it, so it will be the same idea. It will be playing on YouTube. We'll also have it posted for post-listener audio podcast. But yeah, it's interesting. We got pages of rules that we're reviewing that we're going to talk about and release before they're posted to the PDGA.com. And it's a cool idea. Guys, anything else? We're down to the last minutes. What do you think?
No, it's been good. We're a third of the way through the season, like you said. By the way I keep track, you ready? Old school. You see on the camera. Look at this. I ripped out a page of the PDGA magazine that just shows me the schedule for the whole year, so I don't even have to look it up on my phone or computer. It's the whole thing.
That is old school.
He takes out a thumbtack.
I literally look at it. I put my glasses on, and I'm like, let's see what's next. The West Coast.
Do you
swing?
cross them
Do you
off?
circle
Do you
them? Yeah,
highlight
like
them?
Sharpies and
Yeah, and next up we got Kona Piste Open, which is awesome. It's called a European Summer. It says. No, it's been good. Thanks to our latest subscriber, Sparky.
there we go. Thank you very much to TitanDiscGolf.com. I have no real live update on if people have found those discs yet, but a reminder, if you go over to the website and you find a disc with our logo on it, purchase it. Make sure you provide your email at checkout, and they will send you a gift card of equal or greater value. So you'll get 2 for 1. So it's kind of like you're getting a disc for free and then get what you want. That's pretty cool. And maybe the disc you find with our logo on it is one you want. So then it'd be a win-win-win.
Even better.
Thank you. Yeah, check them out. They've got everything you want, including those soles. I saw in our chat, people are like, oh, I got to get that. That one looks beautiful. Window shopping online. Nick's not here. Usually says, tell someone you love them. I'll do it. Tell someone you love them. He does it better than me. Good episode, guys. We will enjoy recording another episode this week that you won't hear till Monday, Memorial Day, May 26th. Again, stay tuned for that. It's a big, cool one coming. Appreciate everyone that listens every single week. Until next week, Ben, safe travels. We'll catch you out there, everybody.
Thank you.
And peace.
We'll see you guys later.